Welcome to Lonnie's Show, live daily at noon Eastern after 1,000 followers, focused on wellness in a chaotic world through discipline, clarity, and calm thinking. Topics build, and in the second half, it all clicks. I invite you into the discipline of 3 arts: body, mind, story.
I got attacked in the jungle, in the ruins of a Mayan pyramid. My mother called me the N-word, right? My mom's Irish. This isn't funny, really.
Train the body, focus the mind, shape the story. Lonnie Show is about wellness through the discipline of 3 arts: mind, body, story.
I have my notebook and my golden pen, and it's January 4th, the 4th walk of Walk with Lonnie. Show you how to punch, teach you something about hitting and writing, and tell you 4 stories. Here's the first one. And I'm going to, my mother taught me about love. And I love her for that. And I'm gonna come back to that. Today I'm gonna show you how to crane punch. We're gonna look at some application, and then we're gonna look to train it. When you're training your hands, it's good to train in the cold. You don't have on gloves. When you're in the cold, you wanna make sure your head and neck's protected good. You wanna make sure there's no cold going down your neck, going down in your clothes. But your hands should be out. When we trained for strength. We train to generate heat from our hands by keeping balled fist. This is one way we make our hands hard. And we walk around in the cold like this for an hour or more. First thing, the crane fist is delivered with just the first 2 knuckles. It's a punch that goes just like that. Just like that. It's not here. It's not doing this. The elbow's down, and the 2 knuckles are straight. Think of, have you ever had a mallet to beat meat with, a tenderizer, and you're just going doot, 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 doot? That's how you can train your knuckles on a countertop or other tough surface, but I'm gonna show you a different surface here in a minute. You just train those 2 knuckles. You don't wanna hit anything else. You don't wanna hit your fingers. You just tap those knuckles. Now, if you could imagine tapping trained boned knuckles into somebody's anatomy, like their face, that's a big deal. You don't have to wind up to cause a lot of damage to somebody's face or body. You just need to punch straight. The crane punch is just straight. That's it. So how do you deliver it? You want to be on balance. We talked about balance yesterday. Let's talk a little bit more about it today. You want to have your hips centered between your feet. They could be almost right next to each other, but you want to feel like your hips are between them. When you punch, you step forward just a little bit, just a couple inches. Can you imagine digging a couple inches into somebody's face? That's all it takes to knock them down, or into their body. The crane punch. Other things we do in Kung Fu are just to get stuff out of the way so we can throw the crane punch. Slap it that way, crane punch. Take it that way, crane punch. Take it out that way, crane punch. When I say it, I mean somebody's arm. Take it out that way, crane punch. Take it out this way, crane punch. Crane punch, crane punch, crane punch, crane punch. I'll do those from different angles. Crane punch, 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 crane punch. Let's go with some more. Crane punch, crane punch, crane punch. Notice I don't swipe this all the way out here and leave my body open. I want to keep this right here, because if his limb, arm or leg, is going outside this way, too far outside the target area, I'm going to keep my weapon as a target, and I'm going to slip this straight in. So from here, can go here, can go here. But the idea is, when one hand is a crane fist, the other hand is a crane wing and guiding things out of the way, not hard blocking them, but guiding them, reaching out to touch them. And the touch happens at a hand, the wrist, farther up the arm, the shoulder, but wherever the contact is made, then other techniques come through. Move things out of the way, crane punch, not too far out of the way. Crane punch, crane punch, crane punch, crane punch. Crane punch, crane punch, crane punch, crane punch, crane punch, crane punch, crane punch. Work your shoulders. Don't let your shoulders relax. Keep them tense here. Crane punch, crane punch. See how this one's going out to the side and this one's going out. This one's going out to the side and this one's going out. This one's only ever going out whenever it's a fist. If this is a fist, this one's only going straight in. This one just wants to get things out of the way, but not too far out of the way because it too wants to attack. That becomes the crane fist. How do you use this? Does that look right? Crane fist, crane fist, crane fist. Out to the side, not too much. Notice my elbow's tucked in. I'm not out here. I'm here. This is how I do my pull-ups because I train as a fighter. My guard is here or here. I'm not gonna have myself opened up. So my strength is close. When I lift weights, when I do curls, when I do certain exercises for the shoulders, I keep my arms and elbows down close to me. Crane punch. Now, let's look at training the crane punch. All right, I'm gonna have to get low here. This is the surface you train on. I wanna show you my hands before I do this. All right. This is the surface you train on. It's the ground, the frozen ground. You punch. Notice there's snow, there's grass underneath here. You'll punch a mud hole in here eventually. Just the first two knuckles and only the first two knuckles. Boom, boom, boom. Now what does this do? This helps strengthen your wrist and your elbow and your shoulder to take the shock, to absorb the shock of impact. It forces you to keep your fist clenched. All right? Boom, 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 boom. The idea is once you punch the earth so much, it's gonna impact and get harder and harder for you to dig in deeper. That's when the shock is gonna hurt, increase and hurt more and more your wrist and your elbow. Don't give, or your shoulder, don't give yourself more than you physically feel you can take. One step at a time, do a few punches, feel what it's like. The earth is where I learned to train my hands. It's not on stones and wood. This is the most important place to train your hands. And everybody has some place you can get out in the dirt. If you're in a desert, like my brother, then you're in sand, that's what you gotta use. That's gonna be worse. You could develop faster, but you use what you got. So, this is it. Oh, I'm gonna stop here because I wanna tell you something. You could get hurt in the park, in the hood doing this because there could be something broken in the earth, like glass or a needle. So I'm gonna stop this training here and continue it for you at my home. All right, respect. Application, I forgot. And there's my hand. I broke some skin a little bit. That happens. And if you can't take that, then yeah, take that. No, punch, get yourself like some rice bags. Just punch the bags of rice, put them in some socks or something, and punch the sock of rice. This is warrior training. You don't have to train as a warrior in order to benefit for wellness with what I'm going to share with you. This could be extreme. Walking in these elements could be an extreme for some people. Doing squats could be an extreme for some people, I don't know. But you got to get some kind of focus and discipline about yourself. And you pick and choose what that is. You don't have to do everything I show you. Pick and choose what you want. Use what's useful for you and discard what's not. I'm going to show you this though before I leave you. It's how to use this crane punch. You don't just keep going like this. The crane punch punches, and then when it meets other arms, it rides them down so that the other arm can punch over it. Ride down, punch over, ride down, punch over, ride down, punch over. You've seen this in Wing Chun. It comes from Shaolin Crane Kung Fu. It's called rolling punches, and you just roll these punches with the first two knuckles aimed pretty much at bony facial areas, eye sockets, nose, chin, and you can beat down the throat, you can beat down the chest, but you don't beat down like this. You go down with the level, so you're punching from the shoulder level. Boom, 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 boom. That saved my life one time. I told this story already. Let me know if you haven't heard this story, but I got in a fight in a jungle. I got attacked in a jungle in the ruins of a Mayan pyramid. A man broke through jungle from somewhere, we didn't know where. Like he was a panther or something. We were all kind of manly, kinda. We were being idiots and just standing there listening for what was coming at us. That was so stupid, man, because it could have really been a panther. One time it was a panther. But anyway, this time a man came out of the jungle. Long story short, I've told this story already. If you want to know it, say so, and I'll send you the link. But the move of rolling hands, rolling punches, saved my life probably. He was swinging and kicking, and I hit him. Long story short, I hit him with one of those punches. Not hard, but I hit him, and one or two of his arms took the brunt of the damage, so I didn't blast straight into his chest. But that arm of mine brought his arms down, and I blasted him full force in his sternum with the second punch. This is very refreshing. Being in the cold builds a strength that's unlike anything else. If you can be out here, and especially if you can be out here and train out here, you can be a warrior. This is how we trained. I mean, we didn't have on anything other than t-shirt, thermal sweater, and our gi. And, one pair of socks. There were some days we had two pair, or at least I had two pair of socks. Can't even remember having gloves now that I think about it. Yeah, you just learn to clench your fist and hold them in your pockets at first, no gloves, and learn to feel the warmth that you're generating through the center of your fist. Once you can concentrate on that, you take your fist out of your pocket, expose them to the elements, and just walk. And concentrate on the heat in the center of your hand. And that always worked for me. I mean, I walked through snowstorms like that for an hour or more. At that same rib place, Damon's, I told you about yesterday. That's at a place called Severance Mall on Mayfield and Taylor Road. When me and Mike used to get off, we would walk from there. That was in Cleveland Heights. We'd walk through Cleveland Heights. We'd walk into East Cleveland and go to this place called Caribbean Sea and get either snapper, perch, or orange roughy dinners, or the 20-piece combos with the fries and coleslaw. And then we walk to my house and eat it. And sometimes my hair, I had a lot of curly hair, and it would be so packed with snow that I would look like a spotted eagle. I said I was going to walk and talk with you and just share with you every day for the year. And that's what I'm doing. And man, am I walking. I want you to see this field because I want you to think of it as your path in life. Unbroken snow. Whatever tracks you put in that snow, those are your tracks. That's what you did. That's a story you can write. Are you around people who are trying to stop you from doing what you want to do? Yeah, always. You're always going to be, or they're going to be around you. That's something you just have to learn to deal with. I think I wrote a piece of a blog about that recently, yeah. And I haven't posted that yet. I think you'll get this first, and then that blog will post. I mentioned Satan. My mother called me the N-word. That's nigger. With a 2 G's or 1 G. It's nigger, not Nigeria, not Niger, not Nigeria. It's nigger, she said to me. She said, "You little nigger." Right, my mom's Irish. This isn't funny, really. It was funny because I know I made her mad, and I pushed her to a point, and I learned something about her. I'm gonna circle back with more reason and insight to this, but the moral of this story is sometimes people say things they don't mean, and we have to learn to forgive them. What is forgiveness? Well, forgiveness, first of all, is something somebody asked for. We can't just bestow forgiveness and make everything all right. On the same note, somebody can't just say sorry and everything's all right, because you come back with sorry for what and make them explain what they're sorry for so you can move forward on the same accord. I have a business client who's older than me and he has a lot more money than me. So, and he's got a Harvard degree. So he likes to say to me, repeat back to me what I just said to you. Right? And it's a rightful thing anybody should be able to do for clarity, not just a boss type situation. I took pride in being able to remember everything said to me and repeat it back and articulate it with how I was going to handle the situation. Story 2. My mom broke my piggy bank. I was 3 years old. It's one of my earliest memories. She was mad because from my point of view, she was trying to drown me. But I had soap in my eyes and she was trying to get the soap out of my eyes, but inadvertently she was forcing my head under the faucet and water was going up my nose, and water had never gone up my nose, and I was scared and I was hollering. And again, still from my point of view, my grandmother came and saved me, got my head out from under the water and kindly, easily got the soap out of my eyes. And the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes, and my eyes were clear, my mom stormed out of the bathroom and she walked across the dining room and the living room and she picked up my favorite thing that I had, which was a ceramic bank of a boy sitting on a stack of books. I put money in there. People who visited had fun giving me change and watching me put it in the bank and, pour it out and count it. And my mom picked up that bank and she threw it onto the ground. This is ice. She threw it onto the ground and it busted into, 100,000 pieces and broke my heart. What's the moral of this story? Sometimes people do things they don't mean. My mother taught me how to love. She taught me about love. She taught me how a man treats a woman. She taught me to hold doors. She taught me to pull out chairs, not just somebody I was trying to have sex with, but for females, old women, girls, you treat them the same. If it wasn't for my mother, the women that I've been with would not have been able to experience being loved. I know that because of all my friends' lives and what I see of them and what they share with me that they've done. What's the moral of the lesson of my mom taught me love? Well, men, have some culture about yourself. Be a you, that there's something about you that you always do, no matter what. Open the door, pull out the chair. Don't use certain language in reference to women. Here's a good one, and I wasn't planning this one, but looks like we got time and it's relevant. I was 19 years old, I was waiting tables at Damon's rib joint. Had on a tux except for the jacket. Rib joint, right? Seafood, steaks. It's an uppity place. And it's my place. I had been there for a while, 4 months or something. Place turns over. A lot of people don't last a couple months. I don't know, it's fast paced, but the money is good. And anyway, I got real comfortable being there. I had a friend there. His name was Michael. Had a couple friends there, but the one in the kitchen, the cook, me and him clicked. We used to hang after work, and we had a thing where when I walked in the evenings, we go touch index fingers like Arsenio Hall used to do to Michael Wolff, his band player, and then we get started. So one day, Mike wasn't there, and I had been training a new server. She was older than me by about 20 years, and she was very excited and asking all kinds of questions, and I liked her. Just as a person, I liked her. She was nothing wrong with her. But when I went in the kitchen, the new cook, how did I say it? You seen the new waiter? You seen the new server? She's a dumb bitch. He said, that's my mom. I would have been happy if he'd have punched me in the face at that point. I'd have let him get it off. I'd have felt better in life. That's the last time I referred to a woman as a bitch. I was 19. She didn't deserve that. And my perception of what was cool was definitely not the new cook's perception of what's cool. On a playground like this one, this is where I was scared to death to come try to be normal. I tried to play basketball, and it would turn into a fight that scared me to death because I had to face a boy called Black Robert. He was mean. He had set somebody's house on fire. I watched him do things to adults. One time I watched him get his ass whooped for it. and he didn't even flinch. He didn't change his attitude, his face, nothing. He just took the man, shook him around and shaking him around and throwing him around. And when the man let him go, he just picked up his bike and ran it straight into the man's side car door again. Black Robert used to take over the playground and take the ball from boys, even 5-year-olds. If it was a bat, he would hit him with the bat to get it from him. Sewage runs through this land, some above ground, some underground. And where I used to live, it was above ground. And Black Robert would make other boys jump in the sewage at the deepest point where we were. It was about 4 feet. And then he would make them submerge their head because he was throwing rocks at them. If they didn't, he would hit them in the head with the rocks. They'd get sick. He would harass people's mothers. I was 13. I told you some other stuff that happened when I was 13, but I guess 13 is some kind of magic number. But this is where I decided I'm not gonna play sports. I'm gonna learn how to fight, because any of this stuff in my hood turns into is fighting, whether it's football, basketball, flirting with a girl, walking down the street, showing that you got a couple dollars in your pocket, showing that I'm light-skinned with glasses, tall and skinny, any old reason. I don't know, people had to attack me. This is one of the main places it happened at. What I want to talk about is memory replacement. Sometimes we have memory so traumatic that it's not only difficult to recall without emotional display, but it's impossible. It hurts, right? So memory replacement teaches us to tell ourselves the story word by word in our heads until we get to the point that hurts. Go through all the causations of what led up to the point of the action that hurt, and then stop and tell yourself another story. This is where you replace the memory, and you simply replace the memory. This works very well, worked on me. One time, an old friend I hadn't seen for 10 years came over my house, and he gets to telling my woman this story that I started a riot. And I don't know where he was going with it. I was waiting for a punchline or something. Maybe him to talk about early demonstrations we gave at Cleveland State he was a part of. But no, he was like, Lonnie, you don't remember you started a riot. And he kept talking. And the more he talked, visions started flashing in my head. The thing with memory replacement is you're supposed to do it with someone. Someone else has to know the truth, because that's the person to bring you back into the reality. I had replaced a memory because I wasn't proud of myself. I did something. I encouraged my pupils to fight and apparently caused them all to fight. Why? Because somebody disrespected me. And the thing about learning martial arts, the way of my family, is you learn to kill. I'm not gonna teach somebody who's not able to use it. And traditionally, you're supposed to fight in order to be given a rank of a fighter. You're not handed even a brown sash if you haven't had some hard contact. It goes brown, then black, then red as the master sash. There's 8 ranks in my family system. You have to fight. So in real life, we're trained, we're taught, we're told to take opportunities to take advantage of the asshole, somebody says something out of their mouth, somebody disrespects somebody, somebody's harming somebody else or threatening to, that's your opportunity to get into their face and tell them, if this is what it is, then put up your hands and put up your hands. I've never sucker punched anybody. I'm walking around these streets right now, some of the places where things have gotten bloody from my hands. I watch videos of old footage that I've shot around the hood or related to Kirk and Shaw High School. And I've seen people in the footage, I've seen men in the footage look at me like they hate me and their eyes follow me around. And I got flashes in my head of who they are. But I don't remember everybody that I fought. I remember everybody was wrong. That's my point of view. Somebody came to me and said, my uncle gave me this black eye, and that somebody is my Kung Fu pupil. Yeah, I'm supposed to protect him. I go protect him. I couldn't deal, like, just emotionally, morally. I felt bad inside because a lot of people had gotten hurt. And so somehow, and I don't remember how, but I remember exercising the technique that my grandfather taught me when I was young. And that is to block out the memory. Basically, you're putting up a wall and you're recreating a memory in your head. The thing about your brain is your brain doesn't know reality from illusion. So the things that you imagine, the more vividly you're able to imagine them, the colors, the sounds, even the smells, the easier you're able to trick your brain. You can create an alternate reality that in effect gives you a different feel until the time you can go to the next step and deal with the actual reality. Go beyond that wall, break that wall down. But you need somebody to help you do that. I was lucky, I guess, somebody bringing my memory back. I didn't have anybody that I told I was going to do that to myself to. And the point is, you want to have somebody break that wall down for you when you're able to handle it, not just at any old time. It's a therapy. It's called memory replacement therapy. And if you need to, do it on yourself anyway. You're better off without the pain than, if you don't have someone to entrust. And there's a difference between trust and entrusting. You don't just say, I trust somebody, and you've never entrusted them with something for them to prove trustworthy. Those are the people, the trustworthy ones are the ones who you can trust. Why am I telling you all this? Well, the first thing is I was told that the bar exam is going to require me to write an essay and maybe additional questions about my background to show that I've gotten over it, that I've taken necessary steps to show my growth in society, and that I have an alternate point of view of life from the thought that I had. I said, no problem. I think sharing my story would be good for others. I have to say this. I was a professional thief. I stole everything that was in any store you can imagine, damn near. From a car to a refrigerator to a walk-in tub to a diamond. I was young. I didn't hurt anybody. Salesmen and managers loved to see me come in because the salesman made commission And the manager's bottom line of sales is all that mattered to the corporate head, not how much of that transaction was due to theft. So they got raises and promotions the more I stole. I was part of the ecosystem of the cash flow, you know, as long as I didn't get caught. Or so I thought. I needed to rationalize being able to steal. And this is the moral. You know, looking at it just simply saying, I'm a young black African American, and you've told me this story in public education that, you know, you enslaved my people and stole land, and you're not giving any back or sharing it. And insurance companies are in business because there's theft. And I wasn't stealing from individuals. I was stealing from corporations that don't want to be embarrassed. My point is, I researched the ones that owned slaves, and I rationalized they owed me whatever I said they owed me. Boom, and that's how you fall. That was a good little segue right there. That's the wrong thinking. That's the wrong rationale. Yeah, I was a good thief, real good thief. Could still be a thief now, but rationalizing things, it's hard to say who's right and wrong and what, for one thing. It's a constant uphill battle to approach life with a thief's mentality. You're a thief. All your friends are going to be thieves. All your customers are going to be criminals. They're buying hot stuff. I saw myself as being more than that. I saw myself as, if I'm able to keep coming up with these scams, then I'm able to come up with something legitimate and make myself a better man without having to look over my shoulder every day to make a buck. And thinking like that is how I imagined and replaced my memories and rewrote who I am and became that. A movie maker, a writer. And the point is, the moral is, you can do the same thing. You can rewrite your story. It begins with consistency, the simplest of which is physically train your body. You train your body, you focus your mind, and you write your own story. I want to pass the bar. I want to become an attorney. And being honest with myself and the world and the bar examiners is the beginning. As soon as I was able, I picked up a camera with that thought in mind and did this. But on a more personal level, something that lasts forever. I can't teach somebody how to fight, how to kill, unless you respect me. Learning to respect me is learning who I am. Not what I've done, just what I've done, but why. And that no matter what I've done, you've done some shit too. And you've done some shit to some other people. Some people's done some shit to you. We're all working on dealing with our shit. I don't want later on, after I teach you how to crane kick and snake kick and so many other things, to find out something about me that disgusts you and causes you to think you would rather you had not known me. All right. So You want to talk about relating to you, relating with you? I'm relating with you right now. All that said, what's the all over message? Balance. Think about that. Physically, mentally, socially, balance. And we'll talk more about balance tomorrow. As well as, what are we gonna do tomorrow? We're gonna crane punch tomorrow. Train the body, focus the mind, shape the story. I'm live daily at noon Eastern after 1,000 followers.